It's December 2025 at Villa Park, 29 seconds in, West Ham scores 1-0. The stadium goes silent, the team looks flat. It feels like one of those days, but then Morgan Rogers takes over, he demands the ball, he drives through pressure, he forces the tempo to change. 5 minutes later, he's equalised. 10 minutes from the end. A 25-yard rocket into the top corner. Chaos. Beautiful, impossible chaos. Unai Emery says it best. Rogers plays best when he's angry. And if that's him angry, the rest of the Premier League should be terrified. This isn't just a story about a goal. It's the story of a player loaned out 4 times, doubted at every level, who now powers Aston Villa and could force England into a very uncomfortable World Cup decision. So how did he get here? To understand the full story, we need to rewind from Halesowen to hunger. We're going back to the West Midlands, a town called Halesowen. Morgan Rogers wasn't born into a football dynasty, no famous surname, no shortcuts. He started where most dreams begin, his local grassroots team, the Hull's Hawks, and even at 5 years old, he was already different. There's a story his early coaches still laugh about. While most kids were learning how to kick the ball straight, Morgan kept smashing it over the crossbar. Not wide, over. They literally had to teach him to reduce his power just so the ball would stay in the net. That raw ability didn't come alone. Behind him were his parents, Deborah and Howard, driving him across the country, standing on frozen touchlines, investing time when there were no guarantees. It didn't take long for scouts to notice. By 7, West Bromwich Albion had snapped him up. At Sandwell Academy, he wasn't just good, he dominated. It looked like a straight road to the top, but football never works like that. The Manchester City illusion. In 2019, the dream moment arrived. Manchester City came calling. For a teenager, that feels like the finish line. You think you've made it, but for Morgan Rogers, this is where things got complicated. Here's the stat that changes everything. Despite being on City's books for years, he never played a single minute for their first team. Instead, he entered what many young players quietly fear. The loan cycle. Lincoln City first. Promising. Then Bournemouth. Then Blackpool. This is the side of football we rarely talk about. New cities, new teammates, new managers who might not even want you. At Bournemouth and Blackpool, Rogers struggled. Game time was inconsistent, momentum disappeared, and the whispers started. Is he just another academy kid? Can he handle the men's game? Is he really Premier League level? For a lot of players, this is where careers quietly fade. Rogers didn't let it. Middlesbrough, the line in the sand. He made a brave decision. He left Manchester City permanently, dropped into the Championship, joined Middlesbrough. This was make or break. Fail here, and he risks drifting into the lower leagues. Succeed, Yidsinti, and he reclaims his identity. Then he met Michael Carrick. Under Carrick, something clicked. Rogers wasn't asked to be tidy. He wasn't asked to fit in. He was asked to drive games, carry the ball, attack space, impose himself physically. The flashes turned into consistency, and that's when a certain Spanish manager took notice. You still look like a Championship player. When Unai Emery brought Morgan Rogers to Aston Villa, it wasn't instant fireworks. Emery is demanding, precise, unforgiving. Rogers later revealed a moment that could have crushed him. Early on, Emery pulled him aside and said bluntly, "You still look like a Championship player." Ouch. For some players, that destroys confidence. For Rogers, it lit a fire. Emery challenged him to stop being nice, to stop playing within himself, to play angry. And that's when everything changed. Energy as a weapon, not just a trait. What separates Morgan Rogers now isn't just skill, it's energy, with intent. He doesn't carry the ball for style, he carries it to change the emotional state of the game. When Villa look flat, Rogers accelerates. When opponents feel comfortable, he drives straight at them. When structure stalls, he injects danger. Because modern football isn't just about possession, it's about momentum. And Morgan Rogers has become Aston Villa's momentum player. The drive. Tactically, it's simple to describe, terrifying to defend. Rogers doesn't pass around pressure, he runs through it. He carries the ball like a rugby player. Shoulders set, defenders bouncing off him, space collapsing behind. Villa now build phases knowing Rogers can break a press by himself. That's why Emery uses him everywhere. Left side. Second striker. Central midfield. He isn't just a player, he's a release valve. And Villa know exactly what they have. A new long-term contract, locked in until 2031. The numbers back it up. 24 goals in 94 games. Double-digit goal contributions this season alone. The Championship player label? Gone. Carrying the team when it matters most. Take the Manchester United game. Villa needed control, but they also needed courage. Rogers cuts inside from the left. What starts as 0-0 turns into 1-0. Not through surprise, but instinct and real quality. But the real moment comes later in the second half. At 1-1, with time still on the clock, the game needed a decision maker. Rogers controls the ball around 12 yards from goal. Time, space, a choice. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look sideways. He strikes. And when United didn't learn, he did it again. Closer, sharper, far corner. That second goal didn't just win the match, it sealed history. Aston Villa made it 10 wins in a row in all competitions, their longest winning streak as a top-flight club in 111 years, and 7 consecutive league wins for the first time since 1990. It also told us something else. A week after scoring twice against West Ham, that second goal took Morgan Rogers to 10 Premier League goal involvements in the 2025-26 season, the most of any English player, overtaking Phil Foden. That's not coincidence. That's authority. The England debate, finally, only now does England enter the conversation. Foden, Palmer, Bellingham, world-class names, but Rogers offers something different. Balance, intensity, structure-friendly chaos. Ian Wright said it best. Rogers might be the best ball carrier England have, and he's right. Others dance. Rogers charges. High presses, he breaks them alone. That's why analysts call him unplayable. Let him run past you. Or foul him. There is no third option. The England conversation, a consequence, not the goal. Here's the truth. England was never the destination, it's the reward. What Rogers is doing at Aston Villa is the real achievement. That's why this conversation feels earned, not forced. He isn't chasing a call-up, the call-up is chasing him. Thomas Tuchel sees it. He values players who transition instantly, defence to attack, control to damage. Tuchel admitted leaving Rogers out of the 11 is incredibly difficult because of his humility and physicality. In tournament football, that matters. What Villa fans are saying and why it matters. Listen to the supporters, and one thing is clear, Villa need to keep their best players, and Rogers is now one of them. Champions League football keeps him, ambition keeps him, offers will come. That's respect, not fear, and the local connection, that matters more than people realise. The tension isn't about ability anymore, it's about whether Villa can rise with him. From promise to purpose. Morgan Rogers' journey isn't loud, it's deliberate. From a player once defined by potential to one defined by responsibility, he carries the ball with belief. He lifts the team when danger is needed. He shifts games, not with noise, but force. Some players fit systems, others unlock them. Right now, Morgan Rogers is Aston Villa's release valve and maybe England's missing piece. And so here's the real question. With the World Cup coming, does Morgan Rogers start for England? And if he does, who do you drop? Tell me your XI in the comments.